Hello and welcome to another Motor Middle East Quick First Drive. I'm Imthishan and I'm here at sexy Jumeirah Golf Estates. So why am I at a golf estate? Are we here to talk about golf? Well, no, we're actually here to talk about cars. And the color is a little bit of a giveaway because it's green. So I'm going to spin the camera around and you'll see what I'm talking about. Check it out. That's the Renault Zoe, a fully electric car. That's right, no petrol engine, just electric drive. This will be on sale very soon. You'll be able to see it at the Dubai Motor Show. But for now, I'm getting a quick chance to drive it. And I really, based on this first drive, I think I want to drive it some more. So the engine has a new long-range battery tank attached to it. So tank, can we use the word tank? I think it's, yeah, battery. So it does about 300 kilometers on a charge. We haven't had much of a chance to really push it. We've driven from here at the golf estates to the Barari at the farm, and that's not really much of a drive. So that's about 30 Ks. But it behaves really, really well. But let's take a quick look. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's take a closer look at the car before I stumble over my words. So this is the Renault Zoe. And what is the Renault Zoe? It's Europe's best-selling electric vehicle. And I mean best-selling, better than the Prius, better than everything else. We're talking 50,000 plus cars. Prices on the Middle East or in the UAE will be 129,000 dirhams at local dealer Al Rostamani. And of course it'll come in a few trims, I imagine, but that's a bit on the pricey side, I feel. But then again, you are getting a whole lot of technology here. It's quite a smart looking car. We've driven it before, actually. There was a lovely reader we had called Salma who let us drive the previous gen, and this is basically entirely the same car. However, it was a nice car to drive. It felt like a proper French hatchback. A little bit heavy because obviously the battery pack, but it didn't feel very different from a normal petrol car to drive. So I found it quite an impressive vehicle, and if they double the range, I thought it would be a great car. So they've doubled the range, and it's going to be a good car. So what to say about the Zoe? Well, looks aside, it's not too crazy, because I know a lot of people with electric cars try to go crazy with electric cars and make them look really odd and weird. The Japanese are particularly good at this. But the French just say, let's just make a normal hatchback. So it's quite a smart looking thing. In case you're wondering where the charging point is, it's here under the Renault badge. Take a quick look at the interior as well. Actually, you know what? Let's just start at the boot, like we always do. Don't even know how to get to the boot. Proper size boot in here. Charging cables, massive charging cables. Now, a couple of advantages this car is going to have going forward. Let me just spin around so you can hear me. So, from next year, there are going to be a lot of incentives for electric cars. So you're going to be able to see free SALIC tags, maybe not SALIC exemption, but free SALIC tags. You're going to be able to see free parking at special green spots around the country, free charging till 2019, and last but not least, no registration charges. So it's making it as easy as possible to buy electric cars. However, the price is a bit high. 129 might be a little on the high side because of people not used to technology, but I've driven it all day and it feels like a normal car. But still, I think they could do a bit more to incentivize the public, because in Europe these cars sell really well because they are comparable to a Renault Clio. In fact, they're half the price in actual ownership of a Renault Clio. So the reason they sell is because people save actual money. So let's continue our little look at the inside. Really odd mechanism for the door, but okay, you push this way, pull. And it's got reasonable space in the back. Again, this is not a full review, but it's a quick look around. Quite funky seats, like almost like race car seats. I think Shazal could probably fit in the back of this. He might not enjoy it. In case you're wondering, AC is quite strong. We had zero issues with the car's AC performance. Let me see if I can get you inside here. And here I am cooking rolled to death inside the Zoe and sweating like a dog. Yeah, it's all pretty straightforward. It doesn't feel too crazy high-tech, and that's why it's not 150,000 dirhams. I think the Prius will be a strong competitor. Obviously, you don't have any problems with the Prius. You just have a car that you can drive around and put petrol in and get the just normal range, 400-500 kilometers. Maybe even 600-700 kilometers if you drive it properly. So, not the biggest screen in the world. In fact, I'm just going to quickly drive it around so you can get out of the shade. Oh, I've just turned it off again, haven't I? Let's just drive it around. I'm not wearing my belt, which is why I'm driving very, very slowly and gingerly. So you can see the actual dashboard. Yeah, This is all very Tron style lighting. You can't actually do too much options wise. You can change this and get some different displays. No, not really, they're all the same display. And I've just turned the wipers on. These cars have an infotainment system which is pretty idiot proof. Obviously a radio, AC, climate, etc. and all the usual mod cons. Oh, very fancy. It's showing the energy flow, which is only going one way right now. It's a 40-degree day and the AC is coping just fine. Typical French easy to use controls. Normal gear stick here, so park, reverse, neutral, drive, etc. all the usuals. This controls the cruise control or the speed limiter. Very French. And in case you're wondering, for French fans, there is the usual volume control knobs here and radio stations. They've always had it behind the steering wheel. This is the key. So I think I had this on a Mazda years ago. It's like a weird smart key thing, and this is the battery, I guess. All the usuals. And this button here, in case you're wondering, pops open the charging port. One USB. You'd think a car running on electricity would have more than one USB, and it has an SD card, which bizarrely I've just pulled out. That probably broke it. Okay. Yeah, not a whole lot to report that I didn't like about it. It's very comfortable, it's easy to get used to, and it's easy to drive. The price, except for the third time, I think 129 is a bit much for a starting price. I think that's probably too much for a starting price. But on the other hand, we all got to start somewhere. And I think this car is so easy to live with that most people are not going to think about it as electric car. They're going to think about it as their car. It's a second car or a third car, not a primary car, unless you live in a very congested city, which we don't. So it's not the kind of car that I would say, sell everything and buy an electric car. It's not that kind of car. But I like it. I like it a lot more than I thought I would. And that's primarily because it's so good at getting electricity back. Like when we were driving around, I was hammering it, trying to get as little range as humanly possible. And you know what? It kept putting the range back because the regen is so good and so strong. Regen, so you lift your foot off the gas, the car slows down and it sends power back to the battery. You know what? Just would not use up the electricity. Very, very impressive vehicle. And it feels finished, it feels complete, which is kind of not surprising because Renault have been doing this for 7 or 8 years now. Like a long time. So Renault has figured it out. So that's my quick look at the Renault Zoe. We need to have a proper in-depth. The only way to really know is if this car behaves itself in regular life and what it'll be like to own, or will it break down. I don't think so. Electric cars are very straightforward, but the only way to know is to get it on test, and that's what we got to do next. So until then, thanks for watching. It's Imthishan. You've been watching Motoring Middle East. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and hopefully see you soon.